Art does not answer the impossible theological questions. When thought and reason come to an end in the face of unthinkable evil or unbearable personal loss, art provides us with the means to invent, to organize, to create a place of being where we are helped to endure the question, where is God?
Full of hope, we went away, reasonably prepared for the trials we would face, determined to rebuild our lives in a distant and strange place.
There's an ancient story about a woman named Lovely. She was married but is now a widow. She had 2 sons, but they're both dead. Her culture is highly patriarchal. Her value and identity have perished. Scholars of this ancient story have compared her to a man named Job.
I knew it would be challenging. I could not foresee that I would lose my family. Grief has robbed me of all joy. Now there's nothing left for me but misery.
Job was a man of power, wealth, and privilege. He was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. Misfortune fell upon him, and though his sorrow was great, he was able to stand back up.
So I'll return to where I started, all alone, empty-handed, bitter-hearted. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has visited me with misery. The Lord's the cause of all my suffering. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has turned his hand against my family, has cut me off from all of his blessings.
If you're familiar with the book of Job, you might remember that it's a lengthy narrative. The characters are busy playing a long-winded game of blame. Who is to blame for Job's suffering? Who is to blame for Lovely's pain? Why do bad things happen to good people?
I had purpose and identity, a husband and 2 sons, one more God a woman need. But Moab brought us tragedy. How bitter is the hand Shaddai has dealt to me.
They say the Almighty has dealt harshly with them. They say the Lord has given and the Lord has taken. If their misery could be weighed, it would outweigh the sand of the seas. For they believe the arrows of the Almighty are in them. He has given them a bitter cup to drink.
Don't call me lovely anymore. I barely recognize the woman that I was before. There's none of sweetness left in me. Rather Mara better suits my suffering.
Blame is an age-old way of discharging pain and discomfort. Whether it's your suffering, Job's suffering, or a widow named Lovely, we want to find a reason. We want to believe someone is in control.
So I'll return where I started, all alone, empty-handed, bitter-hearted. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has visited me with misery. The Lord's the cause of all my suffering. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has turned his hand against my family, has cut me off from all of his blessings.
Meaningless, meaningless, meaningless. Their suffering seems so meaningless. What do they get for their good deeds and hard work? They're surrounded with anguish and distress.
My fate is bitter, my heart is bitter, this life is bitter, so bitter I will be.
Naked they came from their mother's womb, and naked they departed. Generations come and generations go, and what has been done will be done again, for there is nothing new under this sun.
My fate is bitter, my heart is bitter, this life is bitter, so bitter I will be.
The world is wearisome beyond description. It is full of pain that does not make sense. Everything does not happen for a reason.
So I'll return to where I started, all alone, empty-handed, bitter-hearted. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has visited me with misery. The Lord's the cause of all my suffering. The Lord has dealt harshly with me, has turned his hand against my family, has cut me off from all of his blessings.
The privileged, the innocent, the blameless, and the vulnerable. No one is exempt from human suffering. But our God has not left us alone. The Almighty is with us. Shaddai joins us in human suffering. When someone questions, "Where is God?" we point to the cross, where the steadfast love of our God is on display.